Guys, how we doing? I was a little bit late on coming on there, so hopefully no one's been waiting, but what I'll do is, just like yesterday, I'll take a few minutes and hi Kim, hi Stacey. We'll see who comes in before we get started, so I'll wait maybe like 5 minutes or so. Hi Rosie. And the plan for today is we're going to do about 30-40 minutes of mobility. So it's going to be a good full body session. We should get quite a bit done. Chilled out session, but some of the stretches that we're going to do, some of the mobility exercises are pretty intense. So as always, if you've got medical conditions, if you've got injuries, Kev, what's up brother? So yeah, it's very important, even more so in a normal class where the instructor or the person that's taking you through the session can see you, that you modify for yourself if you need to. So if you're taking part, all you're going to need, a little bit of water, a bit of space and a mat. That's pretty much it. A couple of the movements that we're going to do, for example, deep hip flexor stretches, you might want a cushion for your knees. A lot of people find that if you're on one knee for a long period of time, it can be pretty painful. So I'll give it another minute and then we'll get started. How are we all doing today? So the focus of this class is there's going to be more mobility focused rather than flexibility. And flexibility is a little bit different than mobility in that flexibility has been able to do the splits. Mobility has been able to lower yourself into the splits with control. So similar thing with a squat. Being flexible enough to drop down to the bottom end of a squat is very different than having the control and the mobility to move in there with stability. So typically we're going to be holding stretches for like 5 seconds at a time. We're going to work the breathing into that. So should be a good session, right? I will get started, I think. I think you should be able to see me. But if not, then you can let me know. So, right, here we go. So we'll need a mat. Is that going to be good enough? I think so. Put that back a bit more. There we go. All right. Okay, so we're going to start. We're going to do a little bit of a downward dog and into an upward dog. So we're just going to work a little bit of general stuff first of all. Actually, you know what, I'll shove this watch off. That might get in the way for you as well. So I'm going to shove that to the side. Bring your hands down, shoulders forward over your hands. The first thing we want to do is we want to turn, externally rotate from your shoulders. So you're thinking about turning your elbows so they're back towards your feet. We're going to push up onto the toes and bring your hips up into the air. Now the first thing we're trying to do here is flatten off the lower back. Hopefully you can see me okay. I'll maybe turn this round. Yeah, that's maybe a bit better. So you're trying to extend the hips up and just cycle your feet. Just cycle the heels down. Every time we move, we're going to breathe. So very rarely we're going to be doing any kind of movement that's not linked to breath. If you come forward, so you're in a bit of a extended plank position here, and either you could drop the knees down or just step forward. So you're going to be bringing your left foot and left knee on the outside of your shoulder. Drop that back knee down, and we're just going to sit there for a couple of seconds. And if you get very flexible hips, you might be able to lift up there, lift up that back leg, and really see if you can extend your back leg towards the wall behind you. So right off the bat there, pretty deep hip flexor stretch. Let's drop that down. Let's bring that leg back. Step back up on the right side. So right knee on the outside of your shoulder, foot comes down, lift up from there. Do a couple of deep breaths. Try to keep your body in a straight line. Not be too twisted. You can stay square to the floor. If you're really struggling with that, I'd bring that back knee down and then just think about bringing the hip towards the floor. Cool. From there, we lower down. In fact, I'll maybe bring this in right in towards the wall here. But we're going to lower down onto our front. Pull your hands in. And either, in fact, just start off in the elbows. We'll just go for elbows. We're going to lift up from here. I'm actually thinking about lifting myself into this using the lower back. Look forward. If you feel very little stretch from that, you could bring the hands to the floor and press up. However, do not let your hips come off the floor. Keep them connected. Just going to hold that for a breath or two. Alright. Sweet. Okay, so right off the bat, let's get into a little bit of hip mobility and glutes. So first thing we're going to do is, you maybe want to go long ways. Take your hands behind you, turn your fingers out, shoulders going to go back and down, and open your legs up so they're about shoulder width apart, maybe slightly more than that. Go as tall as you can for your back, and then start to rotate your knees in. So we call this a 90-90 stretch. So we're looking for 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degree angle in at the knee. Now when you do this one, you're actually trying to stay rotated over the top of this leg. So at the moment we're looking to get a stretch on the inside of this hip, and just keep walking across. Nice. We'll do one more. Okay, now on this one, we're now going to fold over the top of this leg. I'll shuffle back a bit. So I'm aiming to bring my sternum, or solar plexus, down over the middle of that shin. So just go as far forward as you can right now. You could even spread your hands. I know you can't see it, but you're going to spread your hands forward and just fold over the top. That'll do. Back across, into the middle, across the other side, over and down. Awesome. Okay. Now the next one here. Let's get this round. Sweet. This next one, what we're going to do, I'm going to give you two options for this. My kind of preferred way is the leg that we're going to stretch is out in front. We're going to tuck the other one in behind. So I'm looking to make sure that the heel is quite tightly packed in here. That shouldn't be too uncomfortable in your ankle. So some people find that really, really uncomfortable, just sitting like that. So I'm trying to keep things quite square. I'm in the middle, I'm not tilted across the side. If you find that really uncomfortable, bring that leg in there. Alright, so that's your option. Otherwise, you're with me. And then the first thing I want to do is shuffle back onto your hips and be as tall as you can. So lift out of your lower back, and then we're just going to go forward. I'm not even going to think about going down towards that foot. A big mistake sometimes with hamstring stretching is people go from here to here and curl the body in, which we're not really achieving very much in the hamstring. So go forward, go forward, go forward, like I'm trying to get towards the camera right now. And I'm still trying to stay tall through the back. Now once I've gone as far forward as possible, I'm just going to slowly think about leaning down. It's a nasty, nasty stretch. So another thing we can do in this one, and by the way, don't worry if you're up here and your hands are not on the floor. Just grab your legs. If you can get your hands to 4 fingertips, awesome. Once we're there, you're going to think about taking your chin and curling it down into your chest, and then bringing your forehead down onto your knee. Just going to hold that for about 5 seconds. That should be quite uncomfortable. And then lift up. Now come right up until you've taken the stretch off completely, and we're just going to go in and out of that. So all we're going to do is take a deep breath in, breathe out, go forward, go forward, go forward, go forward, keep breathing out, and then curl down, go as low as you can, tuck that chin, breathe out, relax, breathe in. We'll do that 2 more times. Breathe out, go forward, forward, and then down, curl round, breathe in. Breathe out. Alright. Nice. Cool. So as I say, I'm not sure, I've got theories as to why the leg in makes that stretch much more effective, but it just does for some reason on the hamstring. So, and don't worry if you're in this position, same idea, you're going forward, you're going down. Alright, so tuck that in. We're going to sit up tall. swap the legs. Pull the toes back a little bit. Sitting up. We're going to go forward, so we'll just find our range first of all in this leg. Don't be surprised if it's a little different. So forward, forward, forward. Once you can't go any further forward, we go down a little bit where we're trying to stay straight through the back and not bend. Once you get down as low as you can, then curl the head in, tuck the chin and bring your forehead towards your knee. And then lift up from there. Alright, take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Push forwards, then it comes. Breathe in. It's kind of like, you've probably heard of people talking about flowing in their stretching. So, like a yoga flow, that kind of thing. So part of that flow is moving with your breath. So rather than going into a stretch and holding it for 30 seconds, 40 seconds, breathing in and out. Sorry, got distracted. So breathe in and breathe out. Forward and down. Last one, we'll do one more. Breathe out. Nice. Okay, cool. I'm just going to quickly check the messages. I can't see my phone from over there. Oh, good, cool. Share, glad to hear you're enjoying it. Nice. Welcome, guys. Alright, sweet. So, we're going to, same kind of concept now, but for the hips. So, we're going to, roughly spend about 5 seconds in and out the stretch. And every time you do that, you're looking to get a little bit deeper. Right, so, what we want to do here is, I'll turn this round again. Okay. So we're going to come back to all fours and step forward with your left knee, left foot. You're going to be stretching your right side at the moment, so right side hip flexor is the side that we're working on. Now hopefully you can see my back foot. What I'm going to do is keep my body perfectly straight, lift up that back knee. I'm thinking about squeezing the right side, so squeeze that right glute. Now if you don't feel that stretching the front of your hip on your right leg, think about extending your body out more and then dropping that hip down towards the floor. That should be a pretty deep stretch in the hip flexor, the psoas on your right side. So, drop the knee, relax, take a deep breath in, breathe out, lift up, squeeze that glute, relax it back down, breathe in, breathe out, lift up, relax. We'll do 2 more. Breathe in, breathe out, hold it there. See if you can get a little bit deeper, so see if you can get it down just a little bit more. Now for those of you that are quite advanced in your flexibility and mobility, one way to progress is to bring your elbows, bring both elbows to the floor and work from there. I mean that's pretty wild flexibility. Some people find that really easy. Don't force yourself into that position, but it's there as an option. Right, damn, cool. Going to switch to the other side. So again, we're going to start on all fours. I'll maybe spin round so you can see me on this side. I'm going to step up on the right. Left side is the side that we're going to stretch. You see that? Yeah. So lift up, and again, let's just find that range to begin with. Squeeze the glute on your left side. Rock a little bit if you need to. Extend it out, relax, flatten the foot. Alright, from there, take a deep breath in. Onto the toes, breathe out, lift up. Come down and breathe in, relax. Come up, breathe out. Knee down, relax. Breathe in. Breathe out and up. We'll do 2 more on this side. Relax. Again, take that breath. Breathe out and up. And once again, if you want to take the sort of option of your elbows both coming down, you can. Don't force it. I'm not so good on this side. Yeah, one more. Drop that knee, take a breath, lift up, relax. Okay, awesome. Let's check in. So already hips should be feeling a little looser. I spend a lot of time just loosening off my hips. If I'm going to stretch at night, there's a couple of really nice stretches that you can do just using your couch, which I can show you at the end. We're going to move into a little bit of upper body now. So first off, the chest. I'm going to just quickly show you this stretch. I'm going to talk through it, and then we're just going to get right into it. So what we're doing, I can angle this down slightly. Alright, what we're doing. This is by far away, this is the most effective way that I know to stretch your chest. So you start face down. You take one arm out, so you're going to go right angle out from the body. So you see I'm not going too high up or too low, I'm sort of sitting about there. So shoulder level, hand goes straight out, palm flat on the ground. This is the side we're going to stretch. This shoulder should not really, it should be kind of neutral, so it's not like pressed right into the floor, neither is it tucked away back. Now, I'll just go into it. I'm going to take the other hand here, and we're going to roll away from that side. Eventually, I'm looking up towards the ceiling. I'm just relaxing there. I'll show you this on the other side, so you can see a better view of it. So again, this hand comes in, roll away, this back foot comes across, and we look up towards the ceiling. Kind of not looking to really lift out too much, so you don't want to be all the way up here, obviously. Try and keep your chest on the floor, and you should get a pretty good stretch across the pec into your shoulder. Okay, so that's the setup of the stretch. We're going to go left side first, same idea. We're going to use the breath, and we'll move into it, and we'll come out of it. So, left hand here. We're going to take a deep breath in. We're going to breathe out, rotate away. Come back round. When you go over, you're trying to catch sight of the ceiling. Breathe in and breathe out. Turn. Breathe in, come back, face the floor. The other hand's kind of helping us to press us a little bit further around. That back foot, that's coming across as well. Breathe out. Over. That's number 3. Back round. I've probably set it a little bit too high there. Okay, awesome. Let's try the same on the other side. Now you'll notice that none of these we're holding for very long. You could obviously, if you're doing this later in the day or you're doing it at night, you could hold these stretches for, a minute or two at a time. Okay, here we go. Breathe in, breathe out and across. Just nice and gentle, a wee bit of pressure through that hand. Look up towards the ceiling. Back across. Breathe in. Try and catch sight of the ceiling. That's 2. Breathe in. Breathe out. Rotate. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And we go one more. And breathe out. Nice. Okay. Awesome. Cool. So we'll do a little bit of seated split stuff now. So if you're not familiar with this, so most people would feel the seated split position in their hamstrings the most. Also the adductors on the inside of the leg. Just work to your own level here. How we doing, guys? You good? Okay. Right, let's go for this. So, once again then, what I'm going to do is we're not going to go, if you're mega flexible, you know, and you can take the legs all the way out, that's great. Start at about 80% for you. So whether that's in here, doesn't matter. Whether it's here, it doesn't matter. But go for what is kind of a reasonably good stretch, like 80%. Now the first thing, I know you can't see what's going on with my feet. I'll shuffle to the side. When you open out here, what your feet want to do is this. You want to tuck in. You want to go the other way and pull them out. Pull them out from here. Kind of get the glutes working. Think about that external rotation, which will increase the stretch in your adductor or the inside of your leg. So legs are going out wide. Pull the feet back. Bring your fingertips to the ground if you can. Now I've got a lot of clients that do this and they're so tight that they can't get their hands forward. They're sort of stuck back here. Now that's fine. And I think actually a really good way of getting into this stretch is to take your hands behind you if that's you. Press through the floor and think about getting your chest up. Because what your body wants to do is a bit of this, like, you want to go the other way. Don't curl up, open up. And if you're flexible enough to get your hands in front and stay tall, then good. And all we're going to do is we're going to think about, first of all, walking forward a little bit, still keeping the toes back. We're going to shuffle forwards and backwards with the breath. So when I'm sitting here, this is relatively relaxed, like 80%. I'm going to take that breath in. Breathe out and go forward. Forward, not down. Forward, not down. I'm not losing eye contact with the thing that's in front of me. I don't want to be like in here. Just keep going forward, 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 forward. And breathe in and come back. Doesn't matter if you can get your hands to the floor. And by the way, it doesn't matter if you going forward and backward it looks like this. That might be it. That's fine. It's just you're trying to introduce that little bit of movement. Okay, take a breath in. And breathe out. And in. Did I say in or out? It should be in and the way back. Out as we go forward. We're gonna do about 5 of these. And again, like if you're not going as far forward as me and you're here, doesn't matter. You just hold it. Breathe in. Push forward. Come back. Two more. Breathe out. Breathe in. And last one. We'll hold this just a little bit. So we'll come forward and we'll just sort of hold that a wee bit there. Not for too long. Now, like, I'm showing off here, but I've had a long history with stretching. So I've been stretching properly for well over 10 years and lots of martial arts, which is why these split positions are, they're easy, I think, by this point, but it's taken a lot of work to get there. So again, it doesn't matter if you're here or whatever, it doesn't matter. Right, cool. Next is going to be a wee bit of traps. Now, this is definitely an overlooked area for most people. And anyone out there that suffers from migraines, from migraines, there's been one or two studies done on stretching and flexibility of the traps, particularly the upper traps, with relieving the intensity of migraines. So if you suffer from headaches, you should definitely look into that. Just do a Google search for migraines and trap stretch. So I'm going to talk you through a couple of these just now, and then we'll see how we're doing for time. Right, so what we're doing is I'm going to go on the knees and I'll show you okay, first thing we're going to do, we're going to talk about the positions of your neck. I'm basically thinking like I've got water in the ear and I'm trying to empty it out. Because when you turn your neck, most of the time you're going to actually look towards the thing that you're trying to get towards. You're going to look in that direction. We're trying to just pivot and pivot and pivot and pivot. So just get used to that for a moment or two, making sure that you're not turning as you do it. Just sit up nice and tall, pivot across, and then think about the opposite shoulder. So at the moment I'm going to the left, opposite shoulder goes back and down. You even think about taking that hand and going like as if you're reaching towards your back pocket on the other side. And then very gently take your fingers and pull here. Just your fingertips, because you can definitely overdo this. It's just a wee bit of pressure there. Now, for most people, where you're going to feel that might be along the side of the neck and down into the upper trapea. This is where we want to feel it. So we're going to hold that just for a few seconds. And we'll go to the other side in this one. So we're going to do the opposite. So reach down as if you're going to the back pocket. The other side, shoulder goes back and down, and across. Hold it. Hold that there. Nice. Switch across. So we're going a little bit slower on these ones. And definitely, again, for things like headaches, I would be holding this for upwards of a minute. But this is definitely one that you can overdo, so you can put way too much pressure on this really easily. So it's just like even like a finger's pressure is enough. Okay, sweet. Okay, alright, now in the next one, I'll turn around to show you the target here. We're now going to be going for these muscles along the side of your upper neck, and we're going to be trying to do that by catching the opposite side, the top of the crown of your head and the opposite side. Look towards your opposite knee, so looking towards this knee, and I'm thinking about tucking my chin in and down. So I'm still staying quite tall, and I'm going from there. And I'll show you what that looks like from this side. And just very gentle. You should feel that stretch along the opposite side at the back of your neck. Just go easy on it. Cool. We'll relax that there. And we'll do that one more time on the other side. So again, sort of turn the head, look towards that knee, take your other hand, catch the back of your head, and then very gently pull down from there. Just try and stay tall. And just breathe with it. Nice. Okay, last one here. Cup the hands. Press them as far forward as you can. And you're going to think about taking your forehead down onto your chest. So what that's going to look like is a bit like this. So I'm really trying to curve that head in. Push out from here, really extend out and drop it down. And do that and hold. Make sure you're still breathing. Nice. Okay. Cool. So yeah, it's that wee sequence. You guys. That wee sequence you can do at the end of the day. It's quite a nice one before bed. So that would be a minute on that side, a minute, a minute, a minute, and then a minute in the centre. Okay, so if there... What time are we on? Sweet. What we'll do, if there's any particular areas of the body that you guys would like to do a short bit of mobility for, you can put it in the comments. So if you're watching live and you want to just say like, yep, just name a muscle group, and we'll do one more. Otherwise, we'll wrap that up there. If you're watching this back, then great. Let us know how the workout was. Let us know how the stretch was. If you've got any requests for next Wednesday, because we'll do another Wellbeing Wednesday next week, then let me know. You know, if you enjoyed this style of class, then cool. Let me know. Arms as in shoulders. So shoulders, like front of shoulder, back of shoulder. Rotations. Lower back. Alright, perfect. Lower back. Right, perfect. Yeah, we can do both. Rotations. Right, we can do both, no problem. We've got some time. Right, so Shia, when you say your shoulder, I'm still not sure what you mean. So rotations in your shoulder, are you thinking like What, external, like rotator cuff, or do you mean more like front of shoulder, the larger muscles? If you can let me know, or even just tell me where the pain is, and we'll do that. And yeah, and sure, we'll do some stuff for the low back too. Right, let's go for. We'll go for the lower back, and then we'll do the shoulders. Shay, if you just let me know specifically what you mean, and we'll do that. Right, low back, muscles of your back. First of all, the muscles at the lower side of each side of your back are called the QL. So the QL, the quadratus lumborum, and these are like they tend to get extremely tight if you sit a lot. So if you sit for more than 4 hours a day, your hips normally get tight, and as the hips tighten up, that then plays a bit of tug of war on your QL and your glutes, your hamstrings typically. So they'll get tight in response to you sitting, or response to your hips being tight, and it can be quite hard to shift it unless you're stretching it specifically. So very similar to this side, the seated split. I want you to take that position again, but this time go to like half of your normal range, you know. So this is not about getting as wide as you can here. Just want you to take that position and just take your feet out like such. Trying to think of the best place for me to sit. I'll go like that for now. There we go. Okay, we're gonna work. I think you said your right side, so we'll go with the left. Fuck it, we'll go with the right first. Go right. So right side of your back. Take your left elbow, put it on your thigh, and press it down into your thigh. Okay? If you're flexible enough to get it to the floor, then bring it to the floor. Once you've done that, take your hand, and if you can get it just flat, like back of the hand flat on the floor. I'm needing pressure through that elbow and pressure through that wrist. There should be some pressure there. The next thing we're going to do is I want you to think about sitting up. Keep both hips on the ground and sit up as straight as you can. Don't crumple down towards this elbow. Open your back up. Take your right hand, reach it up towards the ceiling. Now imagine someone's basically grabbing your wrist and they're pulling it up towards the ceiling. You know, it's slowly going up. Look up towards it, and slightly take the hand in this direction here, that way, and just keep reaching up. So I'm trying to press down through that elbow, keep connected here. Also reach up as high as you can and keep that hip connected with the floor. So we're going to hold that there, look up towards your hand and just breathe. So hopefully, like, this should be getting into your QL. You can let me know in the comments if you're feeling it or not. We'll just breathe and hold that there. I try and hold that one for 2 or 3 minutes most nights. There's only 2 stretches I do in the evening. Sometimes that trap one and this, just because my low back gets pretty bad. We'll do the same on the other side. So, yeah, take that out. This time for the left side, right elbow down into the thigh. I'll rest that there, get some weight on that wrist and weight on that elbow. Spend a bit of time to posture up. Open your back up, so almost like you're trying to rotate up towards the ceiling. Again, like someone's grabbed your wrist, yanked it up towards the ceiling, look up towards it, and just keep stretching, and it's going in this direction again. So it's going back there. You will probably have a tighter side. Just breathe. Cool. Yeah. Okay, so if your lower back spasm's easy, then yeah, just go really easy on that. And you can think of like a spasm or any muscle that's tight like that. It's called a tonic contraction. It's just where, you know, muscles contract when you pick up a weight, right? Sometimes muscles contract when you're not voluntarily doing anything. It's like an involuntary, it's just reactively tight. This happens a lot with the upper back. So muscles like that just don't switch off. If you stretch too much, like if you go to your end level of flexibility right away, it's like a tug of war, and quite often you'll make it worse because the muscle will just pull back even harder. And you got to remember that your brain is always just trying to protect your body. So your brain is constantly sending signals to the body, letting it know, here's the range of motion that we think is safe. if you start to go beyond that, guess what? We're gonna pull like fuck and keep you tight. So you have to almost go to like your 60%, 70%. It's probably one of the biggest things that hold people back with stretching, is that they go, like if you're really tight in your hamstrings and you go into a hamstring stretch to the end point where you're like, you're so tight and tense mentally, you're never going to get any progress in terms of your flexibility. Anyway, so that's that. Yeah, low lumbar region. I'm glad you guys feel that pain in the shoulders. Best advice: prep for pull-ups, weights. Right. I'll certainly give you a couple for the shoulders then, Shay. Let's just do some general shoulder stuff. Specific stuff for shoulders. What's some really good ones? So we did the side one on the floor. We didn't really do pull-throughs. You know what? I'll show you another stretch. In terms of doing like prep for training, that's not really what this is geared towards today. So I'm happy to do another session on that, but I won't spend a great deal of time on the shoulders in terms of like warming them up. But we did do a lot. Certainly I would do that chest one that we did. That's a good option to do before you train. Something I always do, I know it's really, really basic, but I always do wide circles before training. Just always do at least 10 as wide as possible. 10 forwards and backwards is something I would never really train without doing. It's like a superstition thing. And also hugs. So it's like you're giving yourself a big hug and then opening your back out and then bringing in different angles. So coming up, also starting high and coming low. I always would do. I don't do a whole lot of sort of rotator stuff work, as in like work like this, unless I'm injured, or I've got someone who's injured. A great exercise that you can do if you have a kettlebell, it's called a Kettlebell Halo. So you want a light kettlebell upside down. You're going round as tightly as you can here. So those are a great one. Or if you have a resistance band, or just a belt or a broom, you're going all the way around. These are called banded dislocations, and I would do about 10 of these as well. So if you get tight shoulders, I would do the circles, I would use the band, and I would do I'd do some halos. I would definitely get the blood in the shoulders. Yeah. Right guys, I'm just going to read through. Next one. Right, so I'm glad. Hey, I'm glad the tips helped. And I'm glad the low back stretch helped. I've got a herniated disc, so my L4, since I was 21, I had a really bad injury, which is consistently it's been a feature in all my training and the way that I move. I've got a bulging disc in my neck from wrestling, so lots of stuff going on with the back that I had to kind of work on, and flexibility and mobility has always had to be quite an important part of training for me. So, yeah, so many ways that you can work around these types of things. Great, I'm glad it was good. Thanks very much for taking part, guys. Thank you very much. If you've got any other questions, if there's like areas of the body or types of stretching that you want to do for next week, 90-90 is awesome for hips, yeah, 100%. So yeah, for next week, it's an open session. If you like the style we did today, we'll do that again. I'll just throw in some extra bits. We'll leave a bit of time at the end, and we'll do a little bit of like we'll just like a question and answer type thing. Good man, Kev. I'm glad you did it, mate. So do them regularly, and we'll do. And sure, yeah, I can even put you up a little. I tell you what, Shell, I'll take a note of that, and we'll maybe do a little like carousel style shoulder warm up for the Insta. So humdrum. So the dip. like disc pain, especially like herniated disc pain. The best way I could describe it would be that what you're attempting to do with stretching and mobility and strength training and maybe even going to a chiropractor, you're trying to get your brain again to forget about it. It's the best way to put it, because there's an injury there, especially if it's a herniated disc where there's effectively some of that spongy material between your spinal facets is popped out, or it's bulging, or something's happened. It might be. They say that something like 75% of herniations people don't even know they've got them, because it's just maybe like, they've done something, and because of the direction that it's going in, it's not pressing in a nerve, it's not causing any issues whatsoever. So it can be absolutely fine, and then other days, if I sleep funny or do something daft in training, it'll flare up big time. And when that flare up happens, I'm really just trying to keep moving. If you stop moving, personally, that's what anytime I don't move for a day or two, that's when the pain gets worse. It's like a counterintuitive thing, and it's the same for most muscular pain, most things like rheumatoid pain, just general kind of joint pain, muscle pain. Even like stuff like spasms. Like, how many people in the world probably suffer from things like leg spasms and cramps in their legs? You need to move. That's the only thing you can do. You must move. You must keep things moving. Find what works for you. Working with coaches can help. Especially if they've got knowledge of the physiological system. They can determine which things are going to work for you. I think strength is always a good thing. So I would put increasing strength is going to help you most with managing pain. Next, it would be mobility. Next, it would be flexibility, and then it's maintaining your fitness on top of that. Sweet. You can kind of, in a way, you can't. In the short term, I can't remember the exact number, but a lot of disc problems, like people with bulging discs and herniations in discs, they repair themselves in like 6 months. In the vast majority of them anyway, like a lot, it goes away over time. Recurring issues, harder to deal with. That's 11 years for me. It'll be there forever. That's fine. Can manage it quite well, and yeah, and exactly, yeah, increasing strength. Right, I better go. So thanks again, guys. All the best, and I'll speak to you very soon. Cheers. Peace.